Hello, welcome to my kitchen once again. I've got another recipe for everyone out there. So this is another healthy, simple, cheap meal that you can do for your family for dinner or lunches. Again, I'm cooking this one up for my husband to take to work for his lunches, but this is actually one that my almost whole family will eat. My fussy one won't eat fried rice, and my son will pick out bits of it, but he will eat it. So this one actually does work for us for dinner. Very exciting. Okay, so I'll take you through what I've got. Most important ingredient is the rice. So, little couple of things about rice. A lot of people prefer white rice. That's fine. If you prefer white rice, go with that. I do recommend brown rice for a couple of reasons. One, it's better for you. Brown rice is low GI. If you don't know what that means, the significance for us in this context is that it will keep you fuller for longer. Now, one way to save yourself money is always buy in bulk when you can. If you are going for the brown rice, it's slightly more expensive, but 1 cup of uncooked brown rice will make 3 cups cooked rice, whereas 1 cup uncooked white rice will make 2 cups of white rice. So for the amount that extra that you get, it works out pretty much the same. So if you just buy the cheap Woolies long grain white rice, that's $1.40 per bag. The brown, what have I got here, is $2.50. But like I said, it kind of works out the same. What I tend to do is I buy these bags, the 5 kilogram brown rice. These, when they're not on special, are $16, but they quite often come on half price special, which makes them $8. So I just wait for them to be on special and then buy them. Rice does not go off in a hurry. And if you are trying to budget, rice is one of your best friends when it comes to food. So like I said, I buy the rice in bulk if I can. I've had people say to me in the past that they don't buy in bulk because they don't have the money for it that week. And I do understand that. In my last video, I showed you how to save a couple of dollars on spaghetti bolognese by not buying the pre-made tin sauces. And hopefully the other stuff I showed you just showed you how to save a whole bunch of money anyway. So if you manage to save $4 that week, you should have enough money left over for the following week to then buy bulk items. And that was a hint that I gave in my very first video, that when you start saving a little bit of money, you can then do things that will save you a little more money, and that will accumulate on itself. And, you know, within a couple of months, you'll be saving yourself a significant amount of money every single week, even though at the start it might just be a couple of dollars. So in this situation, try to have that extra little bit of money to buy the big bulky rice, and that will save you money further down the track. Just in case you're curious to know exactly how much it will save you, if you buy the 5 kilogram sun rice, which by the way is the good rice, honestly I don't know if it makes that much difference between the cheap Woolies rice and the sun rice, but you know, sometimes it's nice to be like, ooh, I'm getting the good stuff. Especially if you're on a really tight budget and you always just have to buy the cheap dodgy stuff. The cheap Woolies brown rice for the 1 kilo bag is $2.50. Here we've got the 5 kilo bag for $8. So instead of buying the 5 lots of rice for the $2.50, you've got your 5 kilo bag. It saves you $4.50. Again, might not sound like much, but it's $4.50, and then that gives you enough to buy a bulk item your next shop. So that will end up saving you more money. And by the end of it, you know, you'll be saving $20 on every shop. And when you're on a tight budget, that really is a significant amount of money. In terms of feeding our family, this would easily do us for 2 nights. The other thing I always recommend, cook in bulk, because life can get really hectic, and especially those night times, particularly if you've got kids and everyone, like, you come home from work and kids have homework, they have to have baths or showers or whatever. You know, you're trying to get the washing in and folded, and there's lots going on. If you can just get something out of the freezer or out of the fridge and microwave it, that takes all of 2 minutes. You have saved yourself a heck of a lot of effort. So the rest of our ingredients. We have our scrambled egg, chives, which came from my own garden. Now, when I do the breakdown later of how much all this costs, I'm going to put this down as onion, because if I didn't have chives growing in my own garden, I would just use an onion. So obviously I didn't pay for this, but I'm going to put in what it would cost to have one onion. Just a peas and corn mix. Grated carrot. Now, usually what I would actually do is Woolies has a kilo bag of peas, corn and carrot for $3, which works out cheaper than doing it this way. For some reason, my husband prefers grated carrot in his fried rice. So for the purposes of keeping him happy, I have done the extra effort of grating the carrot. But if you get that peas, corn, carrot mix, it also saves you time because you're not grating. So I would go with that. Soy sauce, sesame oil. You can use any oil. I prefer the taste of sesame oil, but it is a little more expensive. It's I only ever buy it when it's on special, but it's still like $1 for 100 mils. So I substitute a little bit of olive oil, which if you buy the bulk of the olive oil again and then just fill up these, it's about 60 cents for 100 mils. Garlic. The most expensive part is the bacon. I wait until bacon is on a good special. This was $12 a kilo. You can get the pre-diced bacon. That is more expensive. You always pay more when you're paying for convenience. This probably took me less than 2 minutes to chop up. But also this is the shortcut bacon, so it's got a lot less fat in it. Whereas the pre-chopped stuff, usually it's ground up and it's got all the fat ground into it. So it's just a little less healthy. I think that's all of our ingredients. Alright, let's get to the cooking. What you would usually do is just put your rice on to cook. Brown rice takes significantly longer than white rice, about 45 minutes. If you've never cooked rice before, it's pretty easy. Read the instructions on the back. Or get a rice cooker. Those things are amazing. My husband once told me he burnt rice in a rice cooker. And I said, it takes a very special person to burn rice in a rice cooker. Now, to be fair, it was our rice cooker, and it was because it was like over 10 years old and it was on its way out. Rice cookers are amazing, but you can just cook in a pot. The reason why my rice is already done is because a hint that my stepdad taught me, because he makes amazing fried rice. What he would always do is cook the rice the day before, and then you put it like on a tray and leave it to dry out in the fridge, and it just makes it better. So I did that this time, but it's not a step you have to do. So you can put your rice on to cook, and while it's cooking, you can do all your other food prep. So right now I'm going to cook the egg. So the egg also has about a cup of milk in it, so it's just an omelette basically. So this is 8 eggs and the 1 cup of milk. Because it is quite a lot of egg, I'll cook it in 2 batches. There's not a whole lot to this, you just pour in half, let it cook, flip it over, transfer it to a chopping board, and then just dice it up. My child number 3 helped me a little bit with the prep work. She cracked the eggs and did a wonderful job. Dare I say, she did a cracking job. Okay, the egg is cooked, so while that's cooling down, I will cook up the bacon. You can actually skip this step, but my husband does not like what he terms soggy bacon, so he likes it cooked nice and crisp. If you're not cooking the bacon, you just chuck it in when you're cooking up the rice, and it's fine. It should not give you food poisoning, though I will use the term should not, because I think that means I won't get sued if it does. While our bacon is becoming unsoggy, we just chop up our omelette like this, which is nice and easy. So it's 2 layers there. Just do it all in one go. That's the other thing about me as a cook. I don't know if lazy is the right word, but I like to do things as quickly and efficiently as possible. So if there's a quicker way of doing something, I will opt for that. As you can see, this is not like, you know, nicely evenly cut into squares. I don't think it needs to be. While we're waiting for our bacon to cook, we're just going to cook our veggies. Again, this is something I love about frozen veggies. I just chop a bit off so, you know, the steam can release a little bit. And we just put it in the microwave for like 3 minutes. And then I'll probably like smush the bag around a little bit and chuck it in for about another 1 minute. And that's how veggie's done. If you are vegetarian or vegan, it's pretty easy to tweak this recipe. If you're vegetarian, obviously all you've got to take out is the bacon. If you're vegan, you'll take out the bacon and eggs. That seems really obvious. I don't even know if I needed to say that. Obviously, you will probably want to add in some other things. I recently found out that brown rice and lentils make a complete protein. If you don't know what that is and you eat meat, you probably don't need to know what that is, but it's just it's a good thing. So if I was making this for a vegan, I would add in some lentils. Other good add-ins might be broccoli, cauliflower, a little bit of mushroom. I am actually going to be adding mushroom into this because my husband really likes mushroom. I have said in the past that if you are on a really tight budget, mushroom is probably not the thing for you because it is quite an expensive vegetable. However, if you're leaving out the bacon, the mushroom's a lot cheaper than the bacon, so you'll still actually be spending less. However, mushroom, that is my mushroom finishing now. Mushroom shrinks down to be quite small, so it's not going to bulk out your food all that much. And the reason the microwave is beeping with the mushroom, I also recently found out that you can just put mushroom in a microwave safe bowl, put the lid on top and microwave it, and it does its little saute thing, which just I find is quicker and easier than doing it in the fry pan and having to stir it. So that was a really handy little hint for me. Everything is now cooked, so we add it all in together. So we get our oil. So that's our olive oil, our tasty sesame oil, our garlic. So we give that a stir just to coat the rice in all the oil and the garlic, and the rest of our oil. Once the rice is all coated, we add in the soy sauce. Once that's all coated, we add in the bacon, the non-soggy bacon. Bacon is definitely the most expensive part of this recipe, so if you're really trying to save money, leave it out. Okay, that's all mixed in. Next is our carrot. You want to put the harder things in first, and by that I mean things that won't break up as quickly and easily, because you're doing a lot of stirring, especially when you're doing such a big batch. If you've got a massive wok, that's probably a handy thing to use. I'm just using a pot. It's not the most ideal, but it's what I have, and it's fine. But egg, for example, is quite soft, so if you add that in at the start, it's gonna just completely break up and kind of turn to a little bit of a mush, so you don't want that. Same with the peas and corn, so you want to add them in right at the end. If your rice is a little bit gluggy and it's starting to break up and stick together, add more oil. Now you want to have that on like medium to medium high heat, and you cook it for about 5 minutes, just with those particular ingredients, just until it's like heated through. Adding our mushroom. So I'm not going to add mushroom to the final price list. That was 500 grams of mushroom, which works out to be about $5 because I just buy it when it's on special. But that's still a fair extra amount, and you really don't need it in there. I'm only putting it in there because my husband and I absolutely love mushroom. My son hates it, so he's going to have to pick it out. But too bad. And now it's almost done, so we add in our peas and corn and our egg. So basically all you do from here is just mix it in until it's all mixed in and heated through. Here is our finished rice. So that's what about a serving is. I ended up getting 11 serves out of this, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now that's 11 adult serves, so this would do our family for like 3 nights. So here's our little breakdown of what we've got. So I had 5 to 6 cups of brown rice. I apologise, I don't remember exactly how much, but I've done the cost for if it was 6 cups. 400 grams bacon, we've got $4.80 for that. 8 eggs is $3. Now I only buy the free range eggs, but if you buy the caged eggs, that's obviously going to be cheaper. And then the mushrooms, which I'm not including, but they don't bulk out the meal enough to really make any difference. That's just a flavour thing. So all up, that cost us $15.15. And when you divide that by 11 serves, each serve costs $1.30. Da, 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 da. We have 3 nights of dinner for $15 for a family of 6. Well, that's another recipe done. I just tasted it. It's delicious. I hope you like it too. And I'll see you again next time for some more budgeting tips. Here's a bonus tip for you. I have burnt some of the rice. Well, I wouldn't really go so far as to say burnt, but I have cooked some of my fried rice to the bottom of my pan. If this happens, a really easy way to fix it is you put a little bit of water in there and then a whole bunch of salt, and then you boil it. Don't let it boil dry, that'll just make the situation worse. So you just boil it for a bit and then you scrape it with a spatula, and that should come off really quite easily.